service, which is the military. We've imposed that tax on you because of your gender and your age. That's completely arbitrary. So that tax is $100,000. You have the money, give it to us, and we'll hire someone to do the job. You don't have the money, come on and do the job yourself. But it's a special tax we impose on you because of your age, gender, and that's it. You pay it in monetary form or you pay it in kind. Very clear fact. We're talking about a tax. It's a tax, okay? And for the Gates Commission, an unconstitutional, non-proportional, regressive tax, okay? Now, let's look now at another aspect, a second aspect of the conscription tax, which is what the Gates Commission calls the unrealized rents. Unrealized rents. Okay, let's see this with an example. So we have here 3 guys. We have Dominic, we have Julian, and we have Yuan. Okay, and let's see, Dominic loves the military. He just loves the military. His true vocation. And you know, even if he weren't drafted, he'd be willing to serve for $500 a month. They wouldn't even need to offer him $1,000. $500 would be fine. He just loves it. Okay? Yuan is your average guy. It's just, you know, for $1,000 he'll do it. It's, you know, he dropped out of high school, has nothing better to do, so he'll just do it. But Julian, he's an artist, and he's, you know, has this great plans for his life and all of this. So he hates the military. He will not serve for the military unless they give him $10,000 a month. If they do, then he'll do it for a while, okay? $10,000 a month. Now, we know how much Yuan is paying in tax. He's being given $100 as a draftee, and he would be willing to serve for $1,000 like most other guys his age and blah, 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 okay? So he's paying $900 in tax. We know that, right? That's the basic description. Now, what about Dominic? He's the guy who'd be willing to serve for $500. My question is, under the draft, when he gets $100 only, is he paying the same amount of tax as Yuan and your average guy, or is he paying less because he's willing to serve for less? What do you think? He's paying less? Well, the Gates Commission says no. He's paying exactly the same. That's what the Gates Commission calls the unrealized rents. Why is that? Well, because under an all-volunteer system, he would be getting the same salary as everyone else. I mean, if he went to a recruitment office and said, look, I love you so much, you don't need to pay me $1,000. I'll do it for $100. I mean, they think he's an idiot, but they will still pay him $1,000 a month, right? In other words, he'd be getting the same salary as everyone else. Therefore, by getting $100, he's missing as much as everyone else, which is to say he's paying as much of a tax as everyone else, because otherwise he'd be getting $1,000. Does that make sense? Yeah? Now, what about this guy? What about Julian? Now, he's not willing to serve for less than $10,000 a month, no matter what. Is he paying more or less or the same as everyone else? What do you think? The same? The same? Is he paying the same? No, he's paying more. He's paying more because he's put a higher value. His work has a higher tag in there, higher price. You see? Let me give you an example. See if you understand this clearly with these examples. Say there's going to be a fair on campus. It's going to be a fair. So we decide to prepare cakes, and we decided to prepare cakes, and it's recording. And so each of us is going to prepare a cake. We're going to bring them here to class, and then we're going to establish the price for those cakes, and then we're going to have these big supermarkets, and they're going to come buy our cakes and all this in this special fair we're having on campus. And so the day we bring our cakes in here, we see there are 3 types of cakes. Most people have spent, good couple of hours preparing a decent cake, nothing too wonderful, but then we have, guys like Dominic and Julian. They've prepared a shitty piece of cake. They went to a 99-cent store. They got some shitty stuff and they put it in the microwave, and that's their cake. However, then we have other people like Candice and Jacqueline and Bella, and they've spent a whole day preparing their cakes, and they've put a lot of money into it. They've bought the best ingredients, the most expensive ingredients, with little berries on top, and And so anyway, we have these 3 types of cakes. Okay, the majority is the average, but then we have these 2 minority cakes, the shitty ones and the really, really nice ones. Okay? So we have a vote here, and we decide each cake is going to go for, say, $25. Now, these guys are really happy because their cakes are worth $2, if at all. So 25, they're just happy with it. They're not going to complain. But these other people, they say, no way, we're not going to send our cakes for $25. I mean, we spend more just on the ingredients. We're not going to sell our cakes for $25. No way. So our cakes are going to go for $80, period. That's like Julian. Okay? He's not going to enlist in the military for less than $10,000. The same thing. So these cakes are going to go for $80, and you can go with yours for $30, and we'll sell our cakes out there, and that's it. Okay? And then you know what happens? When suddenly the military walks into the room, into the classroom, and they say, we need your cakes. We're going to confiscate your cakes we need them to save the country. And so they confiscate our cakes. Now, how much is each of you losing? How much is everyone losing here? The ones who were willing to sell their cakes for $30, we know how much they are losing. Okay, $30. Well, say the military gives you a $1 tip each. So $30, $25, whatever it was the price, minus $1. So you're losing $24, right? What about these guys? They're losing as much because they were gonna be getting the same amount, $25 for their cake. Now they're getting only $1, so they're also losing $24 because otherwise they'd have $25 in their pocket, right? But what about these other guys, the ones with the really fancy cakes? They're losing more because they weren't willing to sell their cakes for $25, so they were gonna get $80 in their pockets, and now they're losing it. The question, Julian?
Yeah. Can you explain me how does that differ from opportunity cost? Because that sounds really close to it. I mean, when you have someone that's like is very well educated and he could be making, let's say, $4,000, and somebody that's not educated and making $800, for him $1,000 is above, and he's actually gaining. But for the person that's could be working for $4,000, he has a much bigger loss. Isn't that the same?
Okay, well, it'll become clear by the end of the lecture, okay? So in the case of just keep it in mind, okay? In the case of the conscription tax, the draftee is not actually considering what he could be making. He is actually giving the state. In other words, if I appropriate your computer, this is not anything to do with the opportunity cost. I am appropriating your actual computer, okay? A different thing is, if you can explain the opportunity cost in different ways, but the opportunity cost is always something up in the air. You could be making more money if you were doing something else. In the case of the conscription tax, you are actually paying. So it's not a loss, it's not a potential loss, it is an actual loss. You're giving money.
Yeah, I'm not putting it under the same category as
Okay.
the conscription tax. I realize what the conscription tax is. It just sounded to me as an unrealized trend, if you can put it in these other words, It sounds a lot like
Unrealized rents and opportunity cost.